And joining us now is film critic Richard Crouse. We're going to do a bit of a TIFF check-in. Richard, I have to say off the top, I'm normally not like this because I cheer on my colleagues when they get these fabulous assignments, but I'm kind of jealous of Andrea Case getting to meet Toni Collette.
She has been everywhere.
Toni or
every
Andrea?
red carpet. No, Andrea.
Oh,
no,
I know.
Andrea Case
She
has
is
been
like a
everywhere.
machine.
I know, and like I thought I was giving it this year, and I look around, she's making me look like a slacker. So,
Bravo to her. All right, so before we get into the movies, just quickly, what do you think were some of the biggest celebrity sightings you've seen at the festival this year?
well, Jacob Elordi certainly caused the biggest stir on King Street that I saw. He plays Frankenstein's monster, the creature, in Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. And of course, people know him from Saltburn and from Euphoria, the show that made him a star. And he is a very tall, very good-looking young man. And when he stepped out of his SUV, you could feel the ground quake under your feet. There were hundreds of people that lined up to see him, and it was really quite something. It was one of those moments that reminded me of when you used to see old videos of the Beatles perform, and they'd cut to the audience, and there were just people screaming. That's what it looked like.
Okay, that says a lot. So let's talk about Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. It's making a huge splash at the festival. And, you know, he has those gentle eyes. Like, I'm trying to figure out how he could play this character.
Well, the thing about Frankenstein is that I'm not perceiving it as a horror film.
Okay.
This is a story about fathers and sons. It's a story about what it means to be human. It's a story about finding your place in the world. And you have this creature who Dr. Frankenstein cobbles together from little bits and pieces of other bodies. But unlike some of the other Frankensteins that we've seen in the past, in this film, Frankenstein can speak. He's certainly the best looking Frankenstein. No matter how much makeup you put on that face, you're not going to make Jacob Elordi ugly. But he's certainly the most soulful, I think, Frankenstein that we've seen before. Here's a creature who is essentially immortal. He seems to be indestructible. You can't kill him. And he's looking at a life where everything around him, everything that he loves, is going to fall away as he continues on. And he's just looking for meaning. And this is why I think this movie is really striking a chord with people here at the festival, is that it's not a run-of-the-mill horror film in any way. Guillermo del Toro shoots it through his own lens, so visually beautiful, but also thematically really, really rich and really, really lovely.
Okay, I said gentle, you said soulful. I like your word better. Okay, another movie, You Had to Be There. That was another one you liked?
Yeah, this one has the longest title, which I have to read to you. It's called You Had to Be There, How the Toronto Godspell Ignited the Comedy Revolution, Spread Love in Overalls, and Created a Community that Changed the World in a Canadian Kind of Way. And this is about the production of Godspell in 1972 that ran at the Royal Alexandra Theatre in Toronto that featured Martin Short, Eugene Levy, Gilda Radner, Victor Garber, Andrea Martin, Dave Thomas, Jane Eastwood, Paul Schaefer was the musical director. And by and large, none of them were known at the time. This is the thing that catapulted a lot of them to stardom. And the movie suggests that this is sort of the root of where modern comedy came from. Without putting all those two people together on the stage at the Royal Alex, you wouldn't have had SCTV and possibly not Saturday Night Live, and it goes on from there. The thing that I loved about this, and this is what makes film festivals so much fun, is I saw this movie in the Royal Alex. They set up a screen and they showed it on the same stage where 53 years ago this musical happened that changed so many lives and careers of the people involved. And then Victor Garber and Paul Schaefer and Eugene Levy and several others came out. And Victor Garber said, oh, 53 years ago, here's where I stood when I sang the first song of the show. And Paul Schaefer said, the band was over here. And do you remember the night when blah, blah? And they kibitzed and just talked about all the stuff that happened half a century ago on the very stage where we would just seen the movie. It was a really lovely moment.
That is really incredible, and bravo to that casting director. Oh my gosh. Richard Crouse, keep it up. Drink your coffee. Do whatever you have to do to power through. Great to see you this morning.
Talk to you soon, Marcia. Thank you.